What an amazing Friday we have in store for you guys. It is not only going to be an Evolving Skies Booster Box giveaway day, but today is also the kickoff of the North American International Championship. You can catch out all the action, catch up on? I don't even know how to talk, on the Twitch channel for Pokemon, whether it be the Pokemon TCG, Pokemon VGC, Pokemon Go. Just awesome action. This is all taking place down in Columbus, Ohio. There's only a certain amount of international tournaments every single season, and it's one of the biggest events possible with all the prize pool money, all the championship points that can be earned. There's tons of people in attendance all the way up to cap. I forget how quickly it sold out, but it sold out super fast. All three waves of entries. It's been a real fun day to watch so far. I definitely highly recommend checking it out. The squad is doing really well. Caleb is 201 as I'm recording this, and so is Danny Altavilla, and then Azul is 3-0 playing that Flying Pikachu VMAX variant that we saw them play in Milwaukee last weekend. We also saw a Mewtwo V Union deck on stream, which is really cool. Kind of a control variant. Unfortunately, didn't pick up the W, but still really cool things going on in the tournament. It's just so fun watching this game that I love so much just continue to grow and evolve. It's wonderful, and it's really exciting leading into next season as this season kind of winds down. But we're going to jump into a really cool video today. I wanted to go over scalping, because we've talked about scalping a lot on this channel, and there isn't a whole lot to deal with scalping anymore, but we're going to take a look at the products that were released in basically the last year and a half that were highly scalped Pokemon products, and I'll talk about that in just a second. But first of all, we have to give away this booster box of Evolving Skies because every Friday is the Danny Phantom reprint. That's right, we're giving away a booster box of Evolving Skies every single Friday until the reprint finally comes, which is slated to be at the end of August. We've still got like 9 weeks left of giving one of these away every week, as long as they don't delay it. Pokemon loves to delay stuff. I should have thought about that. That's going to be fun. Congratulations goes out to Billy Milanovic. Billy Milanovic. I think that's how you pronounce it. You are the winner this week. Please reach out to me either on Instagram. You can find me at danny.phantom or on Twitter at danny__o, or just shoot me an email with your details, your information, and I will get this bad boy shipped out to you for free. You don't pay shipping costs when you win a giveaway. So congratulations. If you want to win this box, because we're going to give another one of them away, all you have to do to enter to win is just leave a like and a comment down below on this video, and then make sure you hit that subscribe button down below. If the subscribe button is a red block with white text, it means you're not subscribed. So you have to click that, leave a like, leave a comment, and boom, you are entered. Come back next Friday. Make sure you watch all the videos in between, but come back next Friday to see if you are a winner. We're going to flip you guys around and talk about the most scalped products of the last year and a half. Pokemon has been nuts, right? Like, we had a lot of issues kind of right after Champions Path. Vivid Voltage was a little bit short print ran, and then we had all this attention because of content creation, right? Like Logan Paul, we had Logic, we had all these people kind of entering the scene, a lot of people kind of finding their old products, their old sealed collection, their old singles in their grandparents' basement or their mom's basement or wherever it may have been, and all of a sudden, boom, there was this huge crypto boom and Pokemon boom. It was just absolutely nuts, where all these people were coming into the game and they saw an opportunity to make a lot of extra money, so they started up buying products at Walmart, at Best Buy, at GameStop, at every place that they could possibly find it, to the point where all of a sudden LGSs started jacking up their prices so that way they could kind of hold on to some product to get it into other people's hands. And then all of a sudden LGSs started becoming the scalper. It was just absolutely nuts. Basically scalping, going out buying product at retail. Some people can call it retail arbitrage if you want, but you're buying out all this product so that way you can go around and turn it to get a higher margin of profit, right? That's what people basically did for quite some time, and it was driving a lot of people nuts, and it was really unfortunate for a lot of people to be able to go out and find these products. We're going to touch on I think there's 20-ish products that I have listed here that we're going to go over. We're going to start out with the Ultra Premium Collection, and some of these are a little bit unique. Like the Ultra Premium Collection, I don't know if it's necessarily just a scalping issue as much as it is a demand issue and a supply issue, because I do think that they underproduced the Ultra Premium Collection to make it more valuable to collectors, because I think that in the grand scheme of things, when they started giving out allocations as far as it pertains to the Ultra Premium Collection, Eeveeloution, there was much less that was delivered amongst those 3 waves to LGSs than what you would have gotten from like an Elite Trainer box, and that is one of the reasons why that this product was so underproduced. However, it definitely was bought up many a times at that $120 mark and then resold, you know, for a profit. So if we're looking right here, the lowest over the past year, we're going to go over data from the past year. So all these graphs are expanding throughout the past year to kind of see what the high point was when these were kind of being scalped to where they are now, to kind of get an understanding of, okay, if a bunch of people bought all this product to kind of hold on to as an investment for the short term or to kind of flip right away, how are they doing in that regard? Because a lot of times, unfortunately, with the way the market has been, especially pertaining to Pokemon, and everybody's freaking out about this crash when it's completely normal and we're just kind of going back to how things used to be, it's very interesting to see. Some people are probably going to lose a lot of money, unfortunately. So if we look at the Ultra Premium Collection, it was at $485.28. Now, that was kind of right before the product actually released. It was very high. It was being sold for a very high markup, and then it dropped down to $225.58. Now, part of this goes back to that reverse scalping method that we were talking about on TCG Player, where a lot of people were making fake accounts and then posting these for $200 with the intent of never shipping any product whatsoever, kind of pocketing the money, scamming people that way. And TCG Player didn't really step in and do much. When we recorded a video on it, and TCG Player still didn't step in and do anything. And then finally, eventually, they started getting rid of some of these spam accounts, some of these spam bots that were going around and taking advantage of unsuspecting victims. But that is part of the contributing factor to what brought this product all the way down to $225.58. I don't believe it's ever consistently sold at that point. I think maybe $275, $300 was probably the price where a lot of people were able to find these at and actually get a copy of an Ultra Premium Collection shipped to them. This actually did go back up to about $400 a couple months ago, and then it dipped a little bit. I don't know if these are going to still be produced. You might be able to find some of these still out in the wild. I do think some of those wholesale companies, some of those marketing companies like Excel, like MJ, they might still have a backstock of these that they're slowly kind of releasing into the wild. And I did see some distributors kind of on their in-stock list still have some of these available at a much higher price point. And usually that either means that they were holding back on product, or companies, LGSs, held onto them themselves and then sold them back to distributorship at a higher price point, so that way they could make a higher margin of profit. So you're looking at $385.61 right now is the current price point. I do think that this one in specific is going to continue to rise. I don't think we're going to see a $1,000 Ultra Premium Collection by the end of the year like a lot of people say, but it wouldn't surprise me if right around Christmas time it was over $500, because I do think that there is the demand for this specific product. If we look at the Celebrations Elite Trainer box, and there's a few Celebrations products on there because scalping was very big at that time. A lot of people were kind of suspecting this release, the Celebrations products, to be this really big gold mine, and they didn't understand how much of this product Pokemon actually produced. $179.57 was its high point right before the product actually came out. There were people willingly paying over $100 per Elite Trainer box. This dropped all the way down after we saw multiple waves, and if you remember going out hunting on Celebrations opening day, some Targets, some Walmarts had hundreds of these. Usually the MJ company or Excel will only put out, 10, 12, 15 ETBs at a time. I mean, you saw shelves, extra pogs that were being set up in the aisles at Targets, just kind of featuring these and the Pikachu figure collection that we'll talk about in just a minute. Absolutely nuts. So it dropped all the way down to $56.03. Now it's starting to gain a little bit of that back, but it's been a while now. You're looking at about 4 or 5 months since Pokemon announced that they weren't going to be printing Celebrations anymore, and whether that's true or not, $77.22 is where it's currently at. Still way off of its 1-year high. If we look at the actual Pokemon Center Elite Trainer box, this one did not hit as high of a price point as what the normal Elite Trainer box did, probably because there's less of these available. $147.71 was its high point. A lot of people were able to get their hands on some of these because Pokemon limited this to 4 and did a really good job of making sure that these kind of stayed in stock. Now, there were a lot of posts out on Reddit, out on Twitter, of people kind of bragging about getting hundreds of these, 2, 3, 400 of these at a time. This dropped all the way down to $82.64, which is still well above that MSRP price point of $59.99, which is what Pokemon Center charged, because you get a little bit of extra goodies in it, but its market price right now is sitting at $114.30. You can see it is trending upwards, down a little bit from where it was a couple months ago, but still trending in the upward direction, sitting at 114.30. If we look at the Charizard, Lance's Charizard V collection, at one point this was selling for 127.87. There was a lot of LGSs and people who were kind of pre-ordering product at a decent rate and then turning the product before they even had it in hands, selling these for $90 to $100 just because it features Charizard. And that's how nuts a lot of people became when it came to Pokemon. Anything with Charizard on it was just such a big deal, unfortunately. And it's very, very sad to see these people all kind of led in the wrong direction, and that's very frustrating as somebody who really cares about the game and wants to grow the hobby and wants people to stick around for a very long time, to kind of be led astray in the wrong direction, thinking Charizard, while it is a good investment and it is a good product, it is not the end-all be-all, right? There can still be enough product printed and produced to meet demand. 127.87 is where it was at its high point before release. Dropped down to 26.91. It stayed very consistently close to that point all the way up until April of 2022, and now it's started to go up a little bit. You can see it's sitting right now at $40.40. This Pikachu figure collection, a lot of people were like, well, I don't think this is going to get produced a lot because of the figure in there, and I think they're right. I don't think it got produced a lot in additional waves, but I think they produced so many of these at the get-go, and because this product is so hard and annoying to ship, they just did not move as well. And for a sealed collector, these take up a lot of space. They're very bulky. So at one point, these were selling for $173.99. They dropped below MSRP at one point, and at the end of January, they're at $49.45, and even now, they're only $8 above MSRP, and that's including shipping, $58.02. So when you factor in the fact that this is probably going to cost anywhere between $15 to $20 to ship, it's actually selling basically for below MSRP. Once you factor in fees and things like that, that's absolutely crazy to me. If we look at the V Memories box, a lot of people were kind of buying up GameStop, going into GameStop. This was an exclusive product to GameStop. At one point, this was selling for $231.35. This was kind of before GameStop even really took pre-orders. Dropped all the way down to $49.03. It stayed fairly consistent since then. You can see it's only risen about $13 now over the past 7-8 months. So not a whole lot of movement, not a whole lot of traction that it's gained, but that's still, when you look at things in the grand scheme of things, you're still looking at about a 30% gain over the past 7-8 months, which is unheard of, and it's really, really good, but just a slow climb, which is a lot different than what I think a lot of people thought was going to happen with Celebrations. Then we move on to the Eevee Premium Collections, the Eeveeloution Premium Collections. These were just underproduced. It's just plain and simple. The supply did not meet up with the demand. So many people were excited about this product because they love Eeveeloutions, they love alternate arts, and while I do think that this was the victim of some scalping situations, I think ultimately a lot of people just couldn't get this product in their hands because there just wasn't enough of it produced. So if we look at the Jolteon, Vaporeon, and Flareon, the Jolteon right now is sitting at $84.69, still off of its one-year high. It hit $100.85 right around the time it came out, which is beginning of December of 2021. It dropped all the way down to $58.93, which isn't too much above that MSRP price point. That was at the end of December, beginning of January. Now it's just slowly, steadily climbed since then. Even the singles in this, the Jolteon V and Jolteon V Max alternate arts in this, the promos that are in this box are selling for a decent amount. Plus, Jolteon being a competitive card, a playable card, also doesn't really help keep the prices down when it comes to that specific product. If we look at the Vaporeon one, $97.15 is where it was right before release. It dropped down to $56.66, so even closer to that MSRP price point. It hit $80.40 recently, just last week, so it's definitely trending in the upward direction. The cheapest of the three is the Flareon VMAX, currently sitting at $73.68, about $10 below the Jolteon and $7 below the Vaporeon. Its high point also a little bit lower at $93.82. Its low point significantly lower at $49.58. Hit that at the end of January of 2022, and it's slowly gone up since then. But again, I don't believe that there's going to be additional waves of this product. You might see some kind of pop up here and there at wholesale pricing or something like that if you're somebody who owns a storefront, but I think in a lot of those cases it's either distributors kind of holding back some items or maybe people selling product back to distributors because maybe they're in over their head and they have other releases that they need to pay off. The Marnie one was definitely a big one, and this has been a big one for quite some time. Now this only got one wave. At one point it hit 101.44 right when the product was released. This flew off the shelves. It hit 72.53 as its low point, but what's interesting is it was basically double MSRP right after the product came out, and it's still double MSRP. So hats off to everybody really for not kind of breaking the mold when it comes to, we talk about patience a lot, and patience is something we're going to continue to preach as we talk about the market crash and as we talk about the market rewind and things like that, things slowing down a little bit. patience is always going to be what's key in any market, no matter what you're going to do, whether you're an investor or you're a competitive player or you're a collector, whatever the case may be. We're all entrepreneurs in some sort of fashion. Patience is always going to be necessary. Don't make decisions based off of emotion. $80.53 is where it's sitting right now. Like I said, double MSRP, but look, you can see it stayed very consistent. It's down a lot from where it was at the end of summer last year, and it stayed very consistently around that $80 mark pretty much since then. So not a whole lot of money being made, not a whole lot of money being lost, whatever the case may be. If you bought it double MSRP, 7 months ago, you're pretty much sitting at the same point right now. Hidden Fates Elite Trainer Box is, again, one of those situations where a lot of people just didn't get the stock because it was so limited compared to what demand was. And this is also something that was already selling for, 5 times MSRP or 4 times MSRP prior to the reprint hitting. So 171.22 is where it was in October of 2021. It's pretty much stayed that way over the past 8 months. Now, it did dip down to 148.64. If you were able to find this in stores for $50, that's what a lot of people were kind of hoping for. I still believe that some of those marketing companies are holding on to some of these and slowly releasing them into the wild, but finding these for $50, very, very difficult for a lot of people. A lot of people were buying these up and then reselling them for $150 to $200 right on the spot. Currently sitting at $168.99, but you have not seen any movement really with Hidden Fates at all over the past year, which I think hats off to Pokemon for doing a really good job at making sure that this product is meeting demand, because we were seeing $300 Elite Trainer boxes at one time for Hidden Fates. Champion's Path, unfortunately, is one of those situations that did see a lot of scalping. This was kind of right where the whole scalping issues really started. You were seeing $85, $90 Elite Trainer boxes after that second wave got announced. A lot of people got lucky and got these early on where they were able to find them for about $50, and then out of nowhere, the demand just went absolutely nuts. 115.21 was its high point, which it actually hit in April of 2022, currently sitting at 95.37, so it is down a little bit. Obviously, not immune to the crash that we've experienced in modern Pokemon over the past several weeks. 92.23 was its low point, which it kind of hit in, November of 2021, very, very close to that low point right now at 95.37. Then we're going to look at some other Champion's Path products, the Double V. A lot of people were going into Targets and buying these off the shelves. A lot of those retail stores had quite a few of them. 34.24 was its high point, which it actually hit last week. Now it's sitting at 33.75. Its low point of 26.45 or 26.48, it hit about a year ago. It's been slowly and steadily rising ever since then. This product was printed quite a bit at release, but as you can see, it's a very, very slow grind as it's continuing to grow. But this just kind of goes to show you how sealed product does and performs. Just very, very slow, steady gains over the course of years and years. You can't expect to make thousands of dollars overnight, but a lot of people are finding these, right at that $20 mark at Target, buying them up and then trying to sell them right away. You can see this product just really not worth it because it's very slowly gaining. Same thing with the Hatterene box. $28.97 was its low point, which it hit in June of 2021. Been slowly climbing since then. $36.01 is its 1 year high, which it also hit, just last week as well. Now sitting at $35.94, so very close to that 1 year high. You would expect it to continue going upward very, very slowly. The Darkness Ablaze Elite Trainer box is just a product that when Darkness Ablaze came out, I don't think there was quite the attention Pokemon had until a couple months later after Champion's Path released and as Vivid Voltage released. And I think, unfortunately, Darkness Ablaze was victim of the fact that, hey, everybody was just looking for something. They just wanted something. And then they didn't have reprints of the Elite Trainer box for Darkness Ablaze. And that's why this product shot up to $150. And then Pokemon was like, holy cow, holy buckets, look at this. This product is way nuts. And what's the best you can pull out of it, right? A $40, $50 Charizard. And that's pretty much it. 31.42 is its 1 year low, which it actually hit about a week ago. It's sitting at, or 30.94 is its 1 year low, which it actually just hit prior to its 31.42 previous 1 year low. This product got reprinted to oblivion a couple months ago, and it really destroyed the market for this. So people looking to sell these for $140, $150 kind of didn't really work out for them because Pokemon just proved, hey, we will reprint stuff. And here's a perfect example: Darkness Ablaze and Vivid Voltage. The other example, this was another boost or another Elite Trainer box that didn't go through the reprints that the booster box went through, to the point where it hit $104.06 about 6 months ago, and now it's dropped all the way down to $36.10. It's sitting at a 1 year low currently. Then we've got the Vivid Voltage Build and Battle Kit. This has that Charizard pre-release stamp in it. $78.49. This was very short printed. printed. A lot of companies had a lot of trouble filling pre-orders when it came to this. $78.49 is where it hit. It actually dropped down quite a bit over the last 6 months or so, where it hit $57.97, which is just above double MSRP. It's gained a little bit of that back, sitting at $64.71. And then we've got the hanger for Vivid Voltage. I put this on there because of how short printed Vivid Voltage was. I saw a lot of those rip and ship places kind of selling this for $10, $12 a booster pack, and you can see this was selling at $8.49 at one point about a year ago when Vivid Voltage stock was still slightly low, and then it dropped all the way down to $4.84 is where it's currently sitting. Then we've got the Kanto power boxes. These are the last three. This was the first time where we really realized as a company, as owning an LGS myself, that there was problems going on, because we put these up and they got bought out in seconds by bots, and that's when we really figured, hey, we got to start doing something different, and we started instituting the promo codes that were hidden in the videos, or hiding these under different products and things like that, and communicating them to people who watched the videos or who supported us, so that way they could get them at MSRP. $183.08 is its 1 year high. Basically it right now sitting at $183.22. At one point it was down to $150.13. This is a very interesting product because it came out so much later than Eeveeloution's, and all that's in here is Eeveeloution's booster packs, but this was something that the community really wanted, obviously, because of its success. Same thing with the Mewtwo and Slowbro one. 181.02 is its 1 year high. That's where it's sitting right now. At one point it was down to 156.07, but you could see a lot of people kind of buying these out at Walmart and then taking around selling them on Facebook Marketplace or wherever. The last one, we just recently went over Shining Fates, so I didn't want to spend a lot of time on Shining Fates, but you can see the Elite Trainer box going through several reprints, really taking a hit. Current market price on it is $52.04, which is basically MSRP. A couple weeks ago, it was all the way down to $46.27, which is a lot less, well, not a lot less, but less than MSRP. You're looking at about a 10% off of MSRP price, when a lot of people were paying $75, $80, $90, even $100 before this product released, because they were so worried of that FOMO, not getting it, that fear of missing out. $78.38 is its 1 year high. Thought it would be interesting to kind of go back and take a look at all these products, because a lot of them not doing so well, right? Not doing nearly as well as what they were, and I think that's really a sign of the times right now for Pokemon, that things have really turned around. Things are really starting to settle down and moving in a completely different direction, which is what, as an LGS who is running a business well before this whole boom of Pokemon, this is more what I'm used to. So this is kind of where the grind and the fun really begins, where we talk about sorting through bulk, where we talk about pulling out 25-cent cards, where we talk about kind of keeping track of stats, watching these tournaments that are going on to make the smartest decisions that you possibly can, because your margins are razor thin. Things are turning around. Things are back to normal, and I think that's something that's really important for a lot of people to understand. So support your local, support your LGS, because they're going to be feeling it when they start seeing a lot of these things kind of dying down. It's absolutely crazy. So let me know what you think in the comment section down below. Leave a like on the video if you could, because they do go a long way for the algorithm. Plus, it enters you to win an Evolving Skies booster box, as long as you hit that subscribe button. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, guys. Thank you so much for everything. I will talk to you soon. Until then, peace.